My next guests are Jason Triggs and Nathanial Caleja. Jason has performed in many plays and musicals, including Fiddler on the Roof, Point Blank, Blood Brothers, and Oliver. And 15-year-old Nathanial has already featured in many musicals too, including Freaky Friday, Peter Pan, and Into the Woods. They're here to have a chat about the C.J. Lewis classic, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Welcome to Showtime, Jason and Nathanial.
Thank you for having us.
Jason, before we get into The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I know that you've also got your own puppet show. There's a dinosaur in my garden. That's been going since 2022. What's that all about?
So there's a dinosaur in my garden shed I developed when I was living up in Seymour, as there was not much theatre up in Seymour at the time. So I thought, let's develop a puppet show and tour it around Victoria. So it's a one-person puppet show where I play a 10-year-old and who discovers a dinosaur egg in a museum, takes it home, it hatches, and Avocado grows up to be a large dinosaur and goes on little naughty adventures.
And that's an ongoing project, isn't it? That's sort of you're touring that around the place. Is that right?
So I finished it for now, but I'm thinking of remounting it next year.
Yeah, great, fantastic. And Nathaniel, 15 years old. How many shows have you been in so far? My goodness.
Oh, this is well, I've been Freaky Friday, Rock of Ages. I did Annie Jr., Peter Pan, Into the Woods, and then this one. So 6.
Yeah, wow, that's a lot, isn't it? What's been your highlight so far?
Definitely Into the Woods, because I just had so much fun with that character. I mean, just walking onto stage and then just like being a prince. Just love that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, yeah, anything's fun time. How can you possibly go wrong? So long as you don't, do your head in learning the music.
Yeah.
Jason, there seems to be a theme around you and puppets, and I believe you also run puppetry workshops. Is that right?
Yes, I do. I ran a puppet school up in Shepparton and Seymour, and now that I'm living back in Melbourne, I'm going to be starting it back up in Melbourne next year. Location to be confirmed.
What is it about puppets that keep you so hooked?
As a kindergarten teacher and TAFE teacher, I use puppets a lot with younger children. I find that a child will talk to a puppet or talk through a puppet, as opposed to opening up, as themselves or talking to their teacher. So it's more from a therapy perspective. But I just love stage puppets. So, Avenue Q is my favourite musical. But any puppet featured in a play or a movie or a film, I just love. I grew up watching The Ferals, so that would be my starting point in admiring puppets.
And Nathaniel, I know that you've worked with puppets on stage before. What's with you and puppets?
I don't know. I mean, I've loved puppets since, I was a young chap. I used to watch the Muppets. I used to love the Muppets movie. Yeah, I love that one. Don't know what is with me in puppets. I mean, I just love them. Like, you just become the puppet,
And I'm of course referring to a project that we worked on together a few years ago now, Freaky Friday, where you did have a couple of puppets. Oh my goodness, a hippo and I don't remember the other one.
A starfish.
Starfish, that's right. So turns out, Freaky Friday, it's a gateway to puppetry.
Exactly.
Probably not a phrase that's been used too many times, but there you go, it's out there now.
I put that on my resume.
Do. Jason, I know that you've done a lot of work with a lot of suburban theatre companies, including Eltham Little Theatre, of course, Nova, Lilydale Athenaeum. I've always been a huge advocate for suburban theatre, for community theatre. What is it that draws you to those great but smaller theatre companies in our community?
A sense of community, and the committees and management are always so welcoming. The process from, to auditioning, to rehearsal, to performance, you're always supported. The audiences are great, and it's close to home as well. So being located in Melbourne, these theatre companies are close to home, and I guess that's why I choose to go to these companies, and the stories that they're telling are very relevant for me And I think in this day and age,
And you say close to home, and that absolutely works from a creatives and a performer and a crew perspective, but also from an audience perspective. It's really accessible theatre, isn't it, Jason? You don't have to go into the city. You don't have to pay $300 for a ticket to a big city show. You get to see local theatre made by local people, literally in your backyard.
absolutely. And we often find that ticket prices are a lot more affordable for community members. And also those with additional needs. Many of these theatres are wheelchair accessible, friendly to everybody. So not just the location, but the venues themselves are great.
And Nathaniel, I know that you had a time in a junior version of Rock of Ages, which still does my head in that there's a junior version of Rock of Ages, but there is a junior version of Rock of Ages, and you ended up doing some sort of sunglasses somersault on stage. What the heck was that all about?
I have no idea. I mean, I think I fell, and somehow the sunglasses came from the top of my head, did a flip, and then came back onto my face, which was just crazy in itself. And then I just decided to make it funny, and it was just like this with the eyebrows. Best bit.
Were you able to repeat it the next night?
Nah. Never.
Yeah.
Never again.
Jason, obviously working on The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, which is just one of those classic stories that many of us grew up with. I mean, Chronicles of Narnia. What can we expect from this production of this very well-known story?
So we have 7 children playing the 4 roles of the Pevensey children, Peter, Susan, Edmund and Lucy, and just their ability to connect both on and off stage is incredible to watch. So you'll see a really strong family bond. We have epic fight battles choreographed by Adrian Quintarelli. Puppets, so we've got a large Aslan puppet on stage and our Beaver puppets, which I've made myself. Really strong performances by the whole cast. So the audience will walk away having gone on a journey into Narnia with a sense of realism. So we've tried to avoid that whole pantomime, over-the-top acting. So we're treating Narnia like a real place, and it is. So definitely come along.
And Nathaniel, there's something like 20 performers on stage and of course puppets. What's it like? What's it like being in that world on stage?
20 performers, yeah. Every time I get on stage, even if it's this play or a musical, I just feel like something inside of me I don't even know how to explain it. It's just fascinates me.
Must be pretty exciting to be surrounded by all those people and surrounded by the magic of Narnia, of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe.
I mean, I've loved Narnia since I was very young. I remember my mum reading me books about Narnia, and yeah, I just love Narnia. And I definitely do love Mr. Tumnus. He was my favorite character.
Jason, the book, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, was first published, I believe, in 1950. Why do you think it still works today?
I think the themes that are interwoven into the book are still relevant today. Forgiveness, bravery, family relationships, friendships, good versus evil. Those themes could be transported into any language, any world. And I think the more we witness these themes and talk about them and observe them in different contexts, you're just going to grow as a person.
The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe is on at Eltham Little Theatre, opening on the 15th of November and running for a limited season, only until the 30th of November. So it's one of those book now, be quick situations. elthamlittletheatre.org.au to book tickets and for more information. Jason, Nathaniel, thank you so much for the chat. Really looking forward to seeing the show, and all the very best for the season.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.